Hey, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Welcome back. This is Force, and here today we're going to talk a little bit about Escape from Tarkov. Now, this is a game that I've been keeping my eye on. I've mentioned it here and there in a couple of episodes in the Force feed, but I've yet to make an actual video on it. The main reason was, initially, we just got some gameplay footage and so just sort of some vaguish details as to what to expect from the game. But as time has gone on, we've seen more videos, and we've been drip-fed more information. The website is now updated with a ton of bullet points, a couple paragraphs of what to expect. We've got several new videos. In fact, just today, we got a brand new video going in depth about the animations between weapon handling, character animations, and world interactivity. We're really starting to get a clear picture of what Escape from Tarkov is going to be. So here in this video, I'd like to sort of paint you that picture, give you a good idea of what to expect, and give you some of my impressions. I want to know what you guys think as to whether or not this could be the next big survival game. So I guess we should just say what it is. What is Escape from Tarkov? Well, I'm going to take this straight from the developer's website. They describe Escape from Tarkov as a hardcore and realistic online first-person action RPG/simulator with MMO features and story-driven walkthrough. Could we get some new acronyms to describe games? Because that is the most ridiculous, long-winded explanation. But if that's what they say their game is, then that's what they say their game is. Ultimately, though, from everything we've seen and from what we can tell, this is a survival game. Okay? This is a survival game in the likes of DayZ. This is a survival game in the likes of H1Z1. However, they're kind of going back to the well with a focus on hyper-realism. A tremendous focus on hyper-realism. One of the cool things that I'm really looking forward to, and the thing that caught my eye about this game, was the way it looked. I love it. Visually, it's like straight out of the Metro series. We've got this sort of Russian dystopian, the end of the world, society has fallen apart. We're in this, Russian environment, and I love that setting. I've loved a lot of characters that have come from that setting. The gusto behind a lot of Russian characters as they're depicted in video games. People there's all sorts of people all over the world. Let's not pretend everyone from one location is one type of person. I'm just saying I've tended to enjoy these types of characters and environments in the past. So this is something that immediately drew me in. And we can't not mention how visually striking this game is. It looks gorgeous. I'm thoroughly impressed with, we'll call this what it is. It's an indie game. This is not a game that's being developed by a AAA company with a AAA publisher. It's an indie game, but it looks absolutely beautiful. Now, the realism goes much more so than the way the game looks. The realism goes way into the way you manage your character management, inventory management, all of this stuff. Again, a real focus on realism. So they talk about, as you're going throughout the environments, things you're going to have to pay attention to with your character. This includes hydration, energy, blood pressure, blood loss, fractures, contusions, toxication, exhaustion, tremors, and so on. I feel like they just farmed out a medical doctor's opinions and said, what is everything that could possibly go wrong with a human out in the wilderness? Let's apply that to our characters and make our players deal with it. There's also a lot of focus on modification of weapons and the things that can go wrong with weapons, including jamming and overheating and wear out. You've got to be concerned with the different types of reloading. In today's video that they released, they showed off that depending on how proficient you are with your weapons reloading, you will reload faster and better, initially being a little clumsy and slow, and over time developing different techniques like just dropping the mag out and quickly slamming a new one in, or if you want to hold on to the old mag that has some rounds left in it, you can swap it out. It's almost insane in just crazy amounts. And again, going back to the idea that they're really sort of going back to the well of the Arma heavily realistic inspiration, there's going to be different stance positions. And they haven't mentioned, they actually did, yes, different lean positions as well. So it's not just like you've got standing, crouch, and prone like you get in a lot of shooters, first person or third person. You have a modular system where you can adjust very very granularly how high or low you're crouching or proning or whatever. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. And then of course the realism continues with the bullets. We've got real life ballistics and projectile hit physics, so you've got to be concerned about what type of bullets you're shooting through what type of gun, and what are you shooting through. How does that affect the trajectory of the weapon, the damage that gets applied on the other side, just everything, about everything you can imagine to make this game as realistic as possible. So this is an exciting proposition, but also in my eyes could be a concerning one. You know, as much as Arma has a very steadfast and dedicated fan base, we can't pretend that that's a game that's a sort of a mass market appeal. And that's fine. Not every game needs to be a mass market appeal, but that also does end up ultimately affecting the potential player base of a game. You know, I'm ultimately really excited that we're getting another game in this vein, because I do think this is a market that is underserved. Most games are sort of toned down and you have to deal with less. So the fact that Escape from Tarkov is saying, screw that, you're gonna have to worry about everything that could possibly go wrong with your character, everything that could possibly go wrong with your weapons, and you're really gonna have to focus on the movement and the handling of your character. I think that that's an exciting thing, but I also just wanted to put that out there so that you guys know that is the type of game that this is. And just because you enjoyed H1Z1 for its survival and scavenging mechanics doesn't necessarily mean that you'll enjoy Tarkov if you don't want to have to manage and deal with all that stuff. It's funny because it's partially a shooter, but also partially a management game. Managing your character, your weapons, your character stancing, just everything. Just putting it out there so that you guys know. Now, going back to the environments, they talk about some very cool things in terms of interactivity, and they've shown some of this in videos. We'll have seemingly basic things, but they add to that level of realism, like switching on and off lights, having tactical entry into doorways, allowing you to sort of peek open a door, stick your weapon through, see if anything's in before you fully swing it open. And then also interacting with vehicles and such in the environment. You'll be able to open doors, open up trunks, and then pick up things that are in the environment. So we'll have like magazines and food rations and water and stuff, either found in trunks or on shelves or wherever, and you'll see them physically, and your character will reach out to pick them up, and they'll go in your inventory. A lot to think about. I guess what would you call this? You would sort of call this like the thinking man shooter, right? That's sort of what it is. So there's a lot of things that this game is talking about that is really exciting. I've got a lot of hopes for it. Love the way it looks. I love that they're taking another stab of that Arma level of realism. At the end of the day, though, I'm looking forward to hearing more about Escape from Tarkov, and I'm looking forward to actually getting my hands on it to play it. I am not sure when we're looking at a release. I have to imagine they're going to enter some sort of early access at some point within this year. I actually apologize for not having those specific details for you. I will make sure to link you to not only the video sources that you're seeing play here in the background, but also to the official website. I know as much as that they have pre-orders up right now, so that tells me that, I mean, if you're having pre-orders for your game in early 2016, you better at least be having some early access for that game at some point in this year. But yeah, there you go, guys. Those are my thoughts and a little bit of information about Escape from Tarkov. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Keep your eyes open, as I will be likely covering it to some capacity again in the future. It's a genre that I've dabbled with in the past, that I've enjoyed, and I'm looking forward to seeing more entries into them, including this one. All right, guys, that'll do it for me here today. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later.